Shalom Aleichem. We're continuing in Hakseg's learning of the Pele Yoetz, day number 242. We'll conclude the chapter of Hakah, of striking, of beating, of yelling, of screaming, of mistreating children, Rahman al-Islam. And he writes, the prohibition of hitting and striking your child is not only to your own son, to anybody else. There is a prohibition when the messengers of the Bezdin would have to whip a person with lashes. They were not allowed to add one extra whipping, one extra lash, lest chas v'chalila, they damage the person or kill the person. So he's learning out from here that when it comes to any person, you are not allowed to even administer one hit, one lash to them. Like it says in the Gemara, Saiter loya shel chaver, someone who slaps the cheek of their friend, ki l'saiter loya shel shchina, as if you slap the cheek of the shchina, the divine presence, who perish Rashi, hamak alalechi, someone who slaps on the cheek over there. A person's created with tselem elokim. There's godliness inside of every person. And the tselem elokim is on the face. That's the main place where you're going to find the tselem elokim. If you slap a person on the face, you're slapping the tselem elokim. It's as if you slap the Ribbono Shel Olam, Rahman al-Islam. How careful a parent, a person who's in power, how careful they must be. Anywhere that you hit the person, you should not be doing. But the Torah is speaking about the way that it normally works. A parent gets angry and they get angry across the face. The raised arm will be broken. You should not raise your arm at anybody. And the person who has raised his arm, who's got that arm outstretched to go and hit, so the aretz, the land, will belong to him, meaning he'll be down underneath the earth. Rav Huna cuts yada, and Rav Huna once had a person that was really hitting and striking other people. What was the punishment? He cut off his hand. He cut off the hand of the perpetrator over here. Okay, that's an extreme case, but the Gemara is just showing you that's how terrible it is that a person who hits another one. Anyone who is the leader of a city, they should be miyaser, they should afflict those people that use their might and their roughness and their toughness and their hands to go and get their way. Especially for the lawless individuals, who hit their wives in cruelty. Domestic violence, says the Pele Yoetz. If you know someone is doing that, the spirit of those who are doing such things should decay. They treat their wives like their servants. Vidarsim umakim, and they end up trampling on them and hitting them. Ubayalim, and they violate them in relations against their will. Ve'elam baishas panim, and these men have no baishas panim, they have no embarrassment or shame at all. Whoever could afflict them and redirect them and help them get through this so they stop doing such things, you should do whatever you can. If you can't stop these men, but you could save the wives and rescue them from underneath their hands, if the wife wants to escape from her husband, who's the perpetrator over here, who's filled with hatred and anger, and he's hitting and all the like what he does to his wife. A wife cannot live with a snake, with a serpent in one place. Her husband is a snake, he does such things to her. Mitzvah Rabbah, of that you're doing a great mitzvah, lahatzil, ashug mi'aroishko, to save the oppressed one, the woman, the wife, from the oishko, from her husband that's oppressing her. Says the Pele Yoetz, domestic violence, save the women. Get them out of the jurisdiction, out of the Daled Amos, the place of their husbands. If their husbands are hitting and whacking and doing all these terrible things, it's dangerous. And even to hit young children, the only one that can hit little children is a father to his sons, a Rabbi to his students, Uparnes al ktanim, and if you have like someone who's like the mafarnes of the city, is like the authoritarian of the city, helping to run the city, he can do it to younger children as well. But even a Rebbe to his students, it's written, it's better, instead of the Rebbe hitting his student, you should get a bezdin, and they should hit b'midu b'msura, they should hit exactly according to the amount that child can handle and the punishment for the crime. Ella shalainago, but it's impractical to do such a thing, and therefore the Rebbe takes matters into his own hand. V'yisa b'shas, the Gemara says, Shalom alei Rav l'Rav Shmuel bar Shilas. Rav said to Rav Shmuel bar Shilas, Ki machas yinuka lo timchiyeh ella ba'arkasa de misani. If you have to hit a child, only use a shoelace to hit them. Meaning, don't get out your belt, and don't get out the cane, and don't get out the wooden spoon, and don't get the pots and the pans or the metal spoon. Don't do that. That's way too harsh on a child. Just take a shoelace, and you can strike him with a shoelace. The tzayis, if he listens to you, great, he listens. And if not, no, what can you do? In the Sefer Hasidim, it says, Shein Meshus la'anka yisrael harav v'talmidav. Only a Rebbe can hit his students. If somebody comes along and hits a child, and the child then brings this person to the bezdin, and he says, this adult who doesn't make he hit me, so the bezdin will hear the case, and most likely they will make this person pay a kanas, a fine, for hitting and damaging a minor. Says the Pele Yoetz, I remember a particular fellow that was a person of Yiras Hashem. He was a God-fearing Jew. Shayaparnas ala Yeladim, and his job was he had some kind of authority figure over the children of that town. Shivashas pitirasai, at the time that he was dying and passing from the world, Tziva, he commanded the people around him, and he said, La'achriz v'beis ha'knesses, I want you to announce in the shul, in the beis ha'knesses, Shushoyel mechila mikol ha'katanim, that he is asking mechila, forgiveness from all of the children. If he ever struck them and hit them improperly. Even to your young children and to your students, you don't have the right to take a strap and smack them and hit them, which in an improper way. If they did nothing wrong, if a kid did nothing wrong, you're going to punish him, you're going to strike him, you're going to hit him, chas v'shalom. Even when you have a need to strike them, you cannot give them a very big zetz, a big patch, achzari, cruel, ala roish, on their head, ve'ala ayin, or on their eye, chas v'chalila, mokim shiuchalasa izmum. You can make some kind of a real blemish on them. Upikuach nefesh, chas v'shalom, could become life-threatening. You're going to hit a child on the head, God forbid. You're going to hit a kid in the eye and give him a black eye, chas v'shalom. Don't do that. You're going to really hurt them. You can't do that. So what happens if you do need to strike them? Pele Yoetz is learning over here that sometimes it happens you do. You should strike them gently. Ala raglayim b'likas, on their legs without any anger. You cannot be reacting. Oh, chas v'shalom, don't do that. Out of control. A parent out of control. He's angry, he's upset, he's frustrated, he had a bad day, and he takes it on his kids, and he whacks them in such a way. Can't do that. All you could do is gently strike them on their legs without any anger. This is a major principle. It's good for a person he should fill his words with justice and judgment. Everything should be done in the proper amounts and the like. This is the straight path. Really, there's no room. There's no room for the hitting, for the striking, for the punching and the like. Today's generation, I believe, from the Gedolei Yisrael all the way down, most are advising us, don't hit your children. You want to be firm with them, you want to be strict with them, okay. But the hit and the strike, the kids are fragile beings today. They're very sensitive. You could just ruin a kid if you hit. Maybe once in a yovel, once in a billion years of a father, something really extreme happens. You could just I just met, I want to say who it was, but I don't remember exactly him. He said that every kid got hit by their father only once in their life. At one time, the father felt that the kid really stepped out of line, and so they hit that child, and every child remembered exactly what they did and exactly where they were and why their father hit them. And still, when the father did it, was without anger, it was without frustration. It was only because this is what they need, and they got the parts that they deserve, and they never did such a thing ever again. We have to be very careful with our children. Patching is for the older generations. We cannot let our kids get away with bloody murder, that's for sure. We have to help them to become mentioned and not build the chayas and the like, to be honest and to do things in the proper way, in Torah and mitzvahs and midas, all of that. But we have to set the example of the midas, of the caring, of the gentility, of the kindness, of the compassion. And if we do things in our chinuch in the right way, then be'ez Hashem, even without raising our hand, without raising our voice, we'll be able to convey the message that we want to. And in that way, we'll be zeicha to raise beautiful children in Mirz Hashem. All the best.